Welcome back. The St. Lucia Fire Service is appealing to members of the public to stop the indiscriminate burning of rubbish. Leading firefighter Stacey Joseph underscored that in addition to its unfavorable impacts on the environment and human health, this is a chargeable offense.
The St. Lucia Fire Service is warning the general public against the indiscriminate and unauthorized burning of rubbish. Leading firefighter Stacey Joseph outlined the dangers of such practices, especially in a time where heavy focus is being placed on respiratory health.
Fire Service has seen a reduction in bushfires. Thankfully, the weather has changed and we have received some rain, which has moistened the atmosphere, so we don't have as many bushfires as we used to have. But however, there is still a great deal of rubbish fires, which are fires being set deliberately by people in communities. We've had a great deal or a steady number of persons calling around the island with the different respiratory symptoms because of persons burning near their homes or in the communities with not a lot of wind flow. We're asking persons to desist from burning.
Apart from the harmful effects to life and property, it is an offense to set fires within 2 miles of a town or settlement without notice and permission. This is in accordance with the St. Lucia Criminal Code, which states, a person who at any time, within 2 miles of any city, town, village, or settlement, sets fire or causes fire to be set without having given notice or first obtained permission under Section 449, and whether or not the fire causes damage or injury to property or another person, is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $1,000.
This is an illegal act, and without the requisite paperwork, you are not allowed to burn. So we're asking persons to desist from burning rubbish. Persons are still suffering from respiratory illnesses. Although we have no real threat of the COVID-19, there are other respiratory illnesses that persons do suffer from. And the laws are there to protect everyone. So if you need to burn, we're asking you to find alternative ways to dispose of your rubbish.
Joseph implored members of the public to be considerate to the safety of themselves and others by complying with what the law has outlined. Jacques Wooding, Hot 7 News.
Castries Southeast MP Guy Joseph says he's not convinced by the SLP's promise of a youth economy. He questions the true faith in the youth, noting the lack of young people in leadership positions within the St. Lucia Labour Party. The communications officer of the SLP, Mondi Lewis, has issued a statement on the matter, stating that she, for one, stands as testament to the SLP's investment in youth.
The St. Lucia Labour Party has declared that if elected at the next general election, their administration will focus heavily on the development of a sustainable youth economy. Meanwhile, Castries South MP Guy Joseph questions what exactly a youth economy is and how it will be represented by a notably senior administration. Joseph believes that the proposal of a youth economy is a pacifying statement held together by only a vague explanation of what exactly it would mean for St. Lucia.
I've heard the leader of the opposition talking about a youth economy. I believe that he is clueless about what a youth economy is. That's just a nice phrase. You know, just like jobs, 100 million in the economy immediately. You know, these things, transparency and accountability, these are fancy sayings. Anybody can say the nice things.
Communications officer for the SLP, Mondi Lewis, has responded to these concerns, attributing her own appointment as a member of the SLP as evidence of their interest and confidence in young people. Lewis disclosed that the very policies which will be used to guide the economic model are currently being drafted by a group of young persons.
The Labour Party is moving in that direction. I mean, even my own appointment is a testament that we have confidence in young persons. So I think the Labour Party is putting their money where their mouth is, and I hope to see that translated with some of the candidacies, some of the working groups that I know are ongoing. Our coordination and discussion with young persons continues. So I say to the critics that, show me your slate. It's very interesting from where these criticisms are being levied, because we also have to ask the persons who make these statements, what slate do they have to show for a youth economy, for youth inclusion in political discussions.
Lewis believes that upon announcement of the SLP's candidate list and public interactions with the diverse group of persons selected, the party's vision may become clearer to onlookers. Jacka Wooding, Hot 7 News.
Following common entrance examinations, the Ministry of Education has indicated that St. Lucia is in the process of forging ahead with the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment. Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Philip Meyer has indicated that training is ongoing in various districts to ensure that everyone is on board with the new method of examination. The Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment is an assessment of the literacies required by all students exiting the primary school system. It focuses on the assessment of these literacies and not individual subjects, as is the case with common entrance. The Chief Education Officer explained that St. Lucia is well on its way to embracing the examination.
What is interesting about the CPA is the fact that you do have internal assessments. So you have projects, you have journals, you have writing of various experiments that can happen. And in addition to the internal assessment, you also have the external component of that, which is an examination similar to the common entrance. But what is integral is that students do get an opportunity over a period of time to show their learning. And so we have been able to start the initial training of our teachers.
She says training has commenced in districts 1 to 4, and in the coming week, districts 5 to 8 will be done in order to ensure all teachers are well equipped for the assessment.
Everybody is well aware. They have opportunities to question. They have opportunities to find out how the program will impact them, and hopefully feel empowered to continue to do their own research and so better support the students in terms of this national assessment. I think the general public had been made aware earlier this year that we had started continuing on the discussion. It's been around in St. Lucia for a while now, maybe a lot more than 5 years, and many other Caribbean islands have embraced it.
That was Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Meyer. Director of Implementation within the Office of the Prime Minister, Nancy Charles, says a recent injection of funds into the St. Lucia Development Bank, as announced by the Prime Minister in his budget, will see an expansion of the capabilities of the entity. Charles noted that the SLDB will be better able to assist a broader spectrum of entrepreneurs beyond fields associated with agriculture and sustainable development.
As part of the economic stimulus package that the Prime Minister mentioned, we do have a program with St. Lucia Development Bank where the bank will be providing a part grant, part loan, and the loan payments, repayments, and the terms will be very comfortable for them. But for persons who perhaps wish to start their own business, or who have a little business that they've started something very small, and perhaps it's an opportunity for them to get some grant funding into that business so that they can expand and they can start moving along in terms of recovering. Well, the intention is for them to broaden the scope a bit and to be able to incorporate as many small and micro businesses as possible, and that's why the funds has been repurposed. And so the government has tried to ensure that the repurposing of the fund would enable for them to incorporate a larger wide cross-section of small business owners.
Charles urges entrepreneurs to capitalize on this opportunity to develop and adapt their businesses for a post-COVID economy. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Sports and weather are coming up after the break.